to you all. I welcome you here on behalf of actually 10 organizations. So S4D4C represents 10 institutions. What the project does is it's a research project funded under Horizon 2020. But it's not only a research project. So what we are focusing on is also creating these kind of networking and dialogue opportunities.
The topic of science diplomacy, I think, is indeed relevant because coming from social sciences, as a researcher in social sciences, you don't see the exact impact on society of your research. You don't see how you can inform policy choices or change or shape society. Science diplomacy is a way of doing that, of achieving that, of having an impact, a voice, an instrument to reach out to the public and to the society at large, and also to policymakers.
We're working on the development of a governance framework. We are going to feed the research that we're doing, which are basically 9 empirical case studies that we have been working on. There are always good reasons to collaborate, especially in science, and especially also with the arguments of science diplomacy. And S4D4C focuses in particular on addressing global challenges.
We really wanted to explore various iterations of science diplomacy, so we chose cases that were designed to explore and bring out different aspects of the relationship between science and diplomacy and foreign policy. One thing that comes out immediately is the extremely rich and complex array of stakeholders that are engaged in each topic that we studied. These cross multiple boundaries, not just science and diplomacy, but also between various DGs on the EU level and between the national ministries on the national one. Science is increasingly understood as an area that drives competitiveness of the EU and the member states, but cooperation and openness are also extremely important for solving global challenges. So the cases really expose the delicate balance between these two.
Open science is the idea of sharing scientific knowledge as early as possible in the research process. But it's also a very active international movement. The focus is on reproducibility, transparency, access, as well as societal participation, which means more open to society as well, and of course international cooperation.
Sesame, together with CERN in Europe, has been promoted very much as a science diplomacy example of the present. And it serves very well as an example for science diplomacy in as far as it brings together people from very different cultural backgrounds in one physical research facility to work together. Already by initiating this facility and installing it and developing it even further, they work together across borders.
Among the great challenges that the EU wants to address in its EU global strategy, food security is a key challenge. So what we wanted to do with this case study is to understand how this very important challenge for EU foreign policy is fueled by EU-funded research on food security.
There are new challenges to global struggle against epidemic outbreaks, which includes the problems with infrastructure and political governance bodies in countries when those outbreaks happened, or, for instance, a new debate about vaccination or about the human rights dimension in global disease eradication.
We aim to analyze and support this dialogue, and we want to see where the science diplomacy is implicit or explicit, who does it, and how do they do it. It's very important for us to not only have this closed group that works until the end of 2020, but we really want to co-develop and co-design results that are being used and useful beyond the project.
First of all, diplomats are all-rounders. They have to be very open-minded, and they have to know how to acquire knowledge from a vast area of disciplines. Diplomats are also good networkers because they rely on expertise coming from outside. They have to be oriented towards the world. They have to have intercultural sensitivity. They not only have to know the position they represent very well, but they also have to be able to explain these positions well. A good diplomat has to show endurance, patience, and of course also a good lot of passion for the profession, passion for interacting with other cultures, and passion for working for your own country. I can assure you that being a diplomat is a lot more than a job. It is a real conviction.